Welcome to the second episode of Story Chat, short story chat, I should say. And today I was going to discuss about my collective book of Distant Saga Trilogy, which contains at least 3 of my short stories that I started with. So this was like my very first book, a collaborative book. Well, not a collaborative book, but a collection, and it was started a long time ago. I'm trying to find the page here of there it is. So yeah, it contained my short story, "The Cure," "Incident on Biomoon 5," "The End of Time," and it also had a bonus short story of "Outer Red." That was when I was trying to introduce the short story, and it did get more favorable reviews than the other stories, unfortunately. "The Cure," I thought for sure everybody would be interested in. Was about a boy that had a cure for every kind of disease, virus, and was being hunted by this conglomerate that really just has control over the world of all the health, and it was just he ran into these people, and things started happening. It was meant to be a longer story, but I kept it a short story just because I wasn't sure how it would do, and the ending kind of changed, which I didn't leave it open. I closed it, so that kind of put a nail in that one. "Incident on Biomoon 5" was a science fiction of an investigator, I should say a reporter posing as an investigator, heading to a moon that was being used by these corporations to dump all of their biohazardous waste and nuclear waste and just all kinds of stuff. And he was investigating the moon to see what transpired there. And then there was "The End of Time," which was my very, very first short story that I did back in 98, I believe. 97, 98. And I had to kind of progress it from there. My writing on that one wasn't very good, but I put it in there anyway and kind of redid it. And it did okay, I guess. But the book itself, it was hard for this book to get published because I didn't have any kind of reference of what to do. I didn't have time to go to do night schooling for publishing because I didn't know. I didn't have the time. I was busy, with a family and marriage. And it was just, when I started this book, it was in 2011. My son had just been born, and I was trying to do this on top of working a night shift, which, if anybody's worked night shift, you know how you are in those kind of days. And it was just a long struggle back and forth trying to get this complete. And I did it with Quark Express. But I didn't know how to format. So my formatting on my first trial was awful. And then I found more resources telling me how to format better, but I left spacing everywhere. So the book has some spacing in it. I'll have to, I don't know, I'll probably go back and retweak this book sometime in the future. But and then the following year, I discovered Vellum. And Vellum is basically an all-in-one Kindle bookmaker. It will format. It will, no matter where you can put, do stuff in Word and transfer it from Word into Vellum, and it will instantly format your book for you and give you some options for the typing and all that stuff. It can even correct some grammar but it's not very intelligent. I would still use the Pro writing aid. Uh, it is costly for the Pro writing aid, and it is costly for Vellum. But once you have Vellum, it's yours, and they keep updating it without any extra cost. So that's good. In the long run, that's probably what you want to do. And I don't want to like keep endorsing it. Everybody has their different. There's also Scrivener. I think I'm saying it right or wrong. I used that for a while, but it's complicated, and I didn't like it very much. But Vellum, it was very straightforward, very user friendly, and yeah, so I did that. Getting back on topic, the short stories. The Cure was actually probably my most dedicated story I've ever written. It was the boy that gets tracked and hunted. It was meant to be a speculative fiction book. I think I made it more trying to be like the action thriller genre, but I think I made it a bit science fictiony with. So I kind of lumped it in there as a speculative fiction book. And then, yeah. So then, End of Time and Incident on Biomoon 5, I tried to, pardon me, get the science fiction angle correct on those. But somebody pointed out something to me about the Incident in Biomoon 5, which I will have to go and try to fix that up later. Biomoon 5 was meant to be another novel, and I might get back to that, but I've kind of lost interest in it already, which it's probably alright, because I don't know if anybody really enjoyed that story. If you did, please let me know. If you've read my book of Distant Saga Trilogy, let me know what you thought of the book. It's also available on Audible, and the reader of that one didn't have too much skill. I don't want to say. I don't want to badmouth him. I think he did the best with what I gave him, and it sounded good to me. He sounded more interested in the Outer Red, and he did a great job on voicing those characters. But this was before I gave it to Dana Day, because it was a standalone after that. And I started creating the Outer Red parts, which will be finishing out soon this year. It will be the last part 4 of Outer Red, so it's come a long way. How I develop these stories, again, I think of them, I write them down, and I do it so that they're out of my mind. Once it's complete, it's out of my mind. And I wanted to get back to The Cure and flesh out that a bit more, but I don't know. I've kind of, once you've started something, you kind of don't want to go back to it. Unless you have a series idea in mind, and I didn't really have a series in mind for that one, but maybe someday I'll come back to it. Let me just touch on the aspect of the publishing part of it. It was very chaotic. I did not enjoy doing this first book at all. I think my first book was like a nightmare for me. In the short stories, I never learned how to edit. I had to do this all by myself. I had to learn how to edit. I had to research everything on the way that you shape the stories, and it was a long process for me. I mean, I generally had the story, but I got a little too anxious sometimes and did nothing but dialogue. And somebody pointed out to me, there's too much dialogue. And then when I did very little dialogue, somebody said, you don't have enough dialogue. So it was kind of like, where's the happy balance for this? So, yeah, it's been a long time coming for this one. Again, this was just about this book, Distant Saga Trilogy. It's available on Amazon. again on Audible. I think I still have it on print, but I'm too embarrassed to have it on print. I changed the cover of the book a long time ago too. The covers had to switch out because my first cover was awful. I don't know what I was thinking my first cover. I think I just tried to get as quickly as I could to get it out there. And then I had to. My niece kind of pointed it out to me that it looked really bad. So I had to do it again. And the new cover doesn't look too bad. I think I got a little better with that one. So yeah, the process. If anybody's trying to start, you really just should gather as much as you can. It wasn't, it was hard to do that back in my day. I don't know why. In 2011, I think I just didn't know which site to go to. But then now it's exploded, the self-publishing business. Those are the years, I think, in between the 2000s and now. So it's come a long way in such a short time, and it's getting bigger and bigger and harder to put out your books. If you're an author, it's a very saturated market. Unless you know what niche you want to go to. I went into science fiction and horror, paranormal stuff, which is just hard to get into, but I enjoy it. I enjoy writing this stuff, so eventually I gotta get back and start writing some more. So I don't know if this episode was good or not, but let me know in the comments section. Click subscribe if you want to hear more. I'll try to get into something else on the next short story chat, and maybe I can talk about the process I'm working on for some of my other stories. That's what I'll do. I'll do a Wattpad special of where I am at in the Wattpad area and ink it. So for now, I'm just going to make it short. Okay? So talk to you later, and have a good day.